What's up, everyone? My name is Okaydrian, and you're watching my top 10 streamed games of 2018. Now, a couple of things that makes this list very, very specific. One, games that I've streamed. That means that you had a chance to watch these games as I played them in 2018. It's a total of 96 titles, okay? Two, it's games that I personally played in 2018. It doesn't mean they had to be released in 2018. There are a few games that were not released that year, just games that I played. And three, and most importantly, these are my favorite games that I played and streamed. There are a few on the list that I would say are better than the other. Maybe some that aren't even supposed to be on the list, but it's not about which one I think is supposed to be the best, objectively speaking, but the ones that I found to be my favorite overall. So, with that being said, let's move forward to number 10.
Okay, this is Adam Contini recording the number 10 entry in Okaydrian's 2018 Best of list. Here we go. Okay, here we go. It's fucking number 10. And it's Chuchel, apparently.
Yeah, Adam, you're right. Amanita Designs Chuchel, which I first saw when I was doing Twitch's Independent Games Festival Showcase, and this is one of the games that was there. And there's so much charm and beautiful art design in the game, you can't help but fall in love. And there's so many nods to previous titles that you can recognize right away when you see it in action.
Yo, it's on.
It's just such a fun and ridiculous game, and you find yourself not even knowing what it is you're going to do next, you know, what the game's going to make you do next. And when you think you figured out what it is you're supposed to do, something else happens entirely. And it's just so well mapped out, so drawn, it's so Pixar, so Disney, so DreamWorks. You can't help but smile and laugh and, you know, revert to the things that make you happy when you play games, which is why we play games in the first place, right? One of the reasons is you want to smile. This game definitely will make you smile. If you haven't given it a try, you most certainly should. That is why it is number 10 on my top games played in 2018. Wonderful. Well, we're here.
At number 9, Return of the Obra Dinn.
Hey, thanks Mustache Man, and glory to the Geshdin Republic. And glory be to Lucas Pope and his 2018 indie hit, Return of the Obra Dinn. While most recently known for Papers, Please, Mr. Pope takes his talents to Falmouth, the Canary Islands, the Cape of Good Hope, and more in this engaging whodunit. The art can be off-putting to some, but I immediately found myself immersed in the style and available color palette swaps. It was so easy to get lost in connecting the web of who was where, doing what, with whom, and why, as the game takes a series of time jumps a la Memento, leading to moments of what the, and oh yeah, right, that makes sense. You know, I was so intent on solving every possible murder in a game where not everyone was murdered, and not by who I thought or how I thought, and the variety of perspectives and angles really challenged my ability to decipher information. But never like to a point of frustration, you know, it was fair. The music was intermittent and never distracting, and the in-game log made it easy for me to pick up where I left off the last time I played without confusion. Look, any game that fuels my inner Dr. Lightman or Grissom gets my nod, and number 9 is no different. This is an awesome game for anyone with any number of hours or minutes available for gaming. Pick it up.
Up next in the top 10, we got number 8. It's a wonderful story about a boy and his will to live. That's what Vampire's about, right?
Nope, that's not what Vampire is about, Fats, but thank you for your contribution regardless. Don't Nod's Vampire has so much to hate and so much to love, but I can forgive all of the bad because of the game's story and experience. Being that this is the same team that brought us Life is Strange, it should be no surprise that the game excels when the characters are speaking and the story is unfolding.
I beg your pardon?
Each of the characters you interact with have several backgrounds or nuggets of information that you can discover that connects them to the others in this city. This is accomplished by talking to many people and discovering how they connect. The voice acting is enjoyable and the personalities are diverse and memorable, making it easy to have favorites, and harder to make the choices of who lives and who dies. You are a vampire after all, and the citizen deaths are permanent. The sprawl of London is dusty, with a washed-out backdrop that allows the reds of the blood and vampiric themes to really stand out, making for a good contrast. This is especially important considering the game takes place in a 20th century London post-World War I, saturated in the Spanish flu. Major gripe in the game is definitely the combat. It feels like an afterthought, like a barrier to the flow of the game's narrative. The same goes for the navigation, the lack of fast travel, where you travel often in the game between the quests and discovering different backgrounds and personalities. Luckily, they've added a story mode that makes most of the combat insignificant, highlighting the narrative instead. As for the music, sublime. If you missed out on PC, Xbox One, or PlayStation 4, the Nintendo Switch is getting a 2019 release, making it a great travel game worth reading, listening, and playing. Make good choices, you'll fang me later.
Oh my god, this is number 7 on Okaydrian's list of games he played last year.
It's Soma. Good game.
Oh yeah, Jade. Really good game. And it was an accident that I played in the first place. I'm not one for any game that has a hint of thriller or horror. My nerves can't take it. And yeah, what's scary is different for everyone, right? So for some people, this is all like, yuck, yuck, it's not scary at all. Look how tough I am, big, and for others, it's nerve-wracking. But it's too good to not appreciate and play. I think much of this is attributed to the ambience of the game. The looming threat of waiting for something to happen to you as you convalesce between shadows is accompanied by the aura and beauty of what surrounds those shadows. What I'm trying to say is, there's something really beautiful about this very uncomfortable game, and it's easy to overlook that while you're on your toes. The most surprising quality of this game was the amount of lore and information stored throughout the different rooms for those willing to brave their fears or contentions long enough to read them. And honestly, it lends so much to what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen, all of which compiles to a standout story with some introspective reflection on what's possible. Like those weed thought videos? Like that. Pretty much. The game satisfies all needs and desires. You want story? Got it, but you gotta earn it. You wanna not sit still the entire time? No problem. What about environment and graphical appreciation? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Do you. It's a fun experience, even if you know the ending, and that says a lot about the game. You know what to do. Play it. Oh, I almost forgot. Pay attention at all times.
Hey, I am Brandon, and for number 6 for Adrian's top 10 of games that he played in 2018 that he liked a lot is the Banner Saga 3. Also, I would just say the whole series because he did play that the whole way through. And I'm not going to be very biased because it's not like I worked on the game or anything.
Brandon, the Banner Saga 3 caps off an amazing experience that has been sowing doubt and manipulating player emotions since the first entry in 2014. And I say that with complete praise for the game, its choices, their consequences, and how they affect the story. But I don't want to reduce the game's narrative to just a system of decisions, because it's more than that. It's a game that genuinely makes you care for different characters, or at least pay attention to their varying attitudes, because there's so much going on in this world. It satisfies the lore monsters and the casual players who are just there for the combat. And that's pretty easy to do. The combat design is intricate enough for one battle to feel like tutorial mode and the following to leave your party in shambles until you reach a rest point. And honestly, I love it. I love the feeling of relief when I make it to the campsite to properly refuel, but it's not all doom and gloom because there's some breathtaking artwork in this game, and I encourage anyone who plays it to take the time to look around. Not just the character designs, but the battle maps and the towns. Zoom in, zoom out, scroll around, and look at how much is going on in these scenes. It's like one of those old Highlights magazine puzzles that you find in the old doctor and dentist office. You gotta breathe it all in. And the music? Psh, don't even get me started on the music, or get me started. The Banner Saga 3 brings the heat. Look, in short, there's a lot to love about this game and the entire series, and like any trilogy, everyone has their favorite. I'm not sure which is mine, but I do know and did know that this would make my top 10 best of 2018, and it has. At number 6, grab yours and support the team, and always bet on Axestorm. Cheers.
And in position number 5 on Adrian's top games of 2018, we have Celeste.
More like the best, and I'm not just making that up. Like makeup, get it? Anyway, thanks, Shari. And thanks to Matt Makes Games for this absolute gem, which is impressive in a normal run, completionist run, and a speed run. One of the ongoing themes in my top 10 is the appreciation of games music, but this game might have that on lock above all others on this list. I mean, it's absurd how good this music is. You know, like listen to this. Okay, you got that downloaded? Now listen to this. Okay, now tell me that is not otherworldly. It's good stuff, right? And the game's music does a great job of pacing you through the cavalcade of puzzles that you encounter. It can be tough, but never like too tough, in my opinion. And if you clear an entire section with like minimal or no mistakes, man, I can't even describe the feeling. There's nothing like it. You feel untouchable, you know what I mean? Like you're the best video game player in the world. But that can change quickly. Sometimes games like this, will pepper a narrative in to give you a sense of why you're doing this in the first place, but Celeste is different. The narrative is part of the journey, literally, figuratively, mentally, emotionally. It tackles anxiety and depression as you navigate a mountain of puzzles that can make you anxious, or depressed as you read the dialogue with a small cast that complements the game nicely, including a person of color. Look, Celeste is beyond great. Beyond great. Beyond great? Beyonce. There's no reason this shouldn't be in your library, and it may have one of the highest replay values of any game on this list. And at times, it could have been 4th through 1st, but it's not. Find out later. For now, get this.
Coming in at number 4, we got the Good Peoples at Verse Evils, Pillars of Eternity 2.
Thanks, Cup A Noodle, for that Cup A real talk, because the peeps over Versus Evil are doing fantastic work. Putting that work. I mean, look, this is their second game on the top 10 list, but this one is developed by Obsidian. Yeah, the same Obsidian that did, I don't know, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, so you could say they know their RPG stuff. This was my first foray into the CRPG genre, and I was blown away. And you might think, well, yeah, sure, Adrian, if it's your first one, you'll love it. I remember my first candy bar I had, and it was Stop. Just because it's the first I've played doesn't mean it's the first I've watched or seen in action, but this game can engulf you, and I was easily lost in the bunches and bunches of text, dialogue, voice acting, and decisions to be made. And as luck might have it, a lot of these decisions you made have lasting consequences. I don't find myself talking about graphics too often either, but this game looks amazing. The animations look amazing. It's a really beautiful world to explore. The gameplay always felt so smooth, and the different ways you can tailor your party's makeup and a variety of stats as well as looks really help you tackle challenges that fit your playstyle. I mean, I was doing so many side missions and buying so many things that I periodically found myself taking on challenges that were 2, 3, even 4 levels above me. And in this game, that's a lot. On the subject of quantity, this game is teeming with content. There's a bunch of quests to do on the side in addition to the main story. There's dialogue, in-game, books to read everywhere, and it feels like everyone has something to say to you on every island you go to. Plus, you have some DLC to comb through, and when you add in the complexity of the game, it means be ready. Speaking of being ready, if you get a chance, play the first Pillars of Eternity. You don't have to, but it'll get you familiar. And play with the developer commentary on. Their growth as a company is impressive and deserving, and the Kickstarter plus post sales prove it. This is a must-play game. So get
What it do, world? It's your boy Tasty Steve. On behalf of my boy Okaydrian, to let you know what the number 3 game of the year is. Well, it should be game of the year because my boy got great taste. It will be none other than bang bang. Red Dead Redemption 2. You heard it here first, folks. Okaydrian, take it away.
You cannot be in there. What is wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. 2. Nothing's wrong with me. Sorry about that. Thanks, Tasty Steve, for taking time away from the 1s and 2s. This is the 3s, though, as in the 3rd best game of 2018 for me, Red Dead Redemption 2. Let me just say this. I've waited years for this game. Red Dead 1 was in my top 5 favorite games of all time, so I've been pining for this title for quite some time. As one might expect from a Rockstar title, the world is never lacking for something to catch your attention. There's always something going on, and the one thing I appreciate is the expanse of the world with respect to population. Of course, in the town, there's tons of people, but running into people along the roads or mountains just feels right, like happenstance. They feel alive and not spawn. And it's not just the people, but the wildlife, the weather, the lights, everything. There's just a sense of immersion that is unlike anything I've experienced in quite some time. And man, can this game tell a story. There'll be people you'll hate, and people you'll love, and some people you can't decide if you should hate or love, and some people you just gotta punch in the face. A lot. As I've said before, this list is from my top 10 games I streamed in 2018, right? But I'll tell you this is my top game that I streamed that was actually released in 2018. There's not much this game does wrong, and if you're looking for a novella experience that will give you months of content and reason to go back and play, this is an easy pickup. Do me a favor though, when you buy it, take time to look around and enjoy the world and take it in. You'll be surprised from what you'll see.
Sweet mother.
Oh.
Number 2, The Witcher 3 DLC, Hearts of Stone, and Blood and Wine. Two DLCs are number 2. It's BOGO. It's BOGO. Okay, it's BOGO.
Okay, so my homie Lex thought BOGO would be an unfamiliar concept to certain people, so let me just explain it in a way that makes sense. It means we get an amazing deal on 2 of the best stories, let alone DLCs, I've ever experienced. Look, it doesn't matter if you experienced them when they released, or in 2018 like me, or in 2019 when I post this game has aged extremely well. Hearts of Stone gameplay-wise adds new armor, weapons, quests, Gwent cards, the in-game competitive trading card game, now standalone title, and a new enchanting system for his equipment to make Geralt more efficient in the trials ahead. Story is enjoyable as expected, but it's the antagonist that steals the show. Gaunter Odin, aka the Man of Glass, is hypnotizing. His demeanor is calm, collected, methodic, and intimidating, never raising his voice, never telling a lie, but always an obstacle. You actually meet him in the Wild Hunt campaign very briefly. I don't want to give away too much, but his sinister moments are tantalizing and might leave you feeling guilty for enjoying him. Blood and Wine also adds new armor, weapons, quests, and Gwent cards, but it also adds an entirely new deck for those who have an addiction. Asterisk raises hand, asterisk. Geralt also gains a die kit to color coordinate his ass whoopings, and a new system called Mutations to further his Witcher abilities. Also, New Game Plus, so besides that and having double the dialogue of Hearts of Stone, which had 6,000 lines, Blood and Wine is, in my opinion, the better story of the 2, or 3. While lacking the charismatic antagonist, Blood and Wine gives you a charismatic deuteragonist and equally intriguing acquaintances to move the narrative along during the play. Instead of having several great moments, Blood and Wine is great all the way through from main quest to side quest. Forget 2018, this is easily in my top 10 games of all time, and everyone needs to experience this, preferably before the show comes out so it doesn't ruin the taste. Get them, play on Death March difficulty, and enjoy. Fuck, that peacock scared the shit out of me. Jesus Christ.
All right, this is the one you've been waiting for. If Adrian was a pimp, this would be his bottom bitch. If Adrian was a trainer of pocket monsters, this would be his starter. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the best game of the year, Rain World.
Thank you, Bronze. You're one in a million. As is this game. Easily my favorite game of 2018. I'm not even going to try to explain. Instead, here's about 70 seconds of my experience. The game is currently on PC, PlayStation 4, and the Nintendo Switch. Pick it up and have your own experience. Thanks. Enjoy.
There's 2 kinds of people in this world, okay? The brave and reckless, and the look at them all running away like little bitches. I'm gonna hunt you down and eat you up the shit. You dick! Hey man, Oh my. Yo! I killed Songbird. I took your face. Hey, you better. I pick on people smaller than me. Carl, look at me. I'm Songbird. Yo, let me get some of that. Let me. Wait, I'm alive. No, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Oh my God. It goes from bad to worse. What? I hate this game. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the Songbird now.
Thank you. Good night.